Here's my review of Lammy. If I could play it! Yeah, Sony won't let you buy it for some reason, and I don't know how to emulate games, so I can't do it that way either. So I hate to leave it out of the picture for now, but I can't even review it. We're going straight to PaRappa 2 since we have no other choice. I am so glad to be talking about this game though, it's awesome. It makes a lot of improvements over the original game. I mean, first off, it has 8 levels instead of 6, which is already an improvement since one of my main complaints with the first game was that it was too short. Also, the story here is just absolutely bonkers, in the best way possible. It still only exists as an excuse to have the levels happen, but like, it's ridiculous. But since the game is building off the base of the original, I don't know if I'm gonna have that many points to make for the improvements, since I already talked about how the original game works. So my solution is that I'm gonna go back and forth between talking about good and bad things about it, just to make it seem more even, because I think I have more bad things to say, but the stuff that's good matters more, if that makes sense. Who knows, maybe I'm wrong about the amount of points I have for both sides. I don't script my videos. So for the first point I'll make about something I don't like, the hit detection feels kinda random. Sometimes I get the notes down at the right time but still lose points, and sometimes I wouldn't get anything like what I'm supposed to get and make several mistakes, but then my score just improves? I don't know how this works. Thankfully, given the freestyle mechanic, PaRappa is a very forgiving game, so this didn't usually end up being a problem, but it was still annoying. Another thing this game does better than the original is the post-game. The beat in the game changes PaRappa's hat color and unlocks new remixes of each song. You get a blue hat, and then a pink hat, and then a yellow hat. It's kinda hilarious how good this is when you compare it to the first game's post-game, which was literally just do every level in cool mode, and then you unlock the ability to watch Katie and Sunny. Wow. I don't even like Sunny. And if I wanted to look at Katie, I'd go online. Speaking of Katie, she got recast and sounds genuinely terrible every time she speaks in this game. It's really distracting.
Is PaRappa home? Something funny's going around town. Let's have PaRappa's dad check it out. Hey, this is no time to be talking about dad.
Every other returning character fares better, though. PJ is actually treated like PaRappa's sidekick in this game instead of just being the same lame eating joke over and over. They fuck. Sunny's dad is a much more interesting character than Sunny herself. He's a military general with an affinity for sweets, and I'm pretty sure he and PaRappa's dad are also fucking. Both of them got changed from their appearances in the first game, which is fine, because both of them were extremely minor background characters in that one. Sunny's dad turned from yellow to pink, and PaRappa's dad turned from cartoon character to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Where are you going with my car? We can overcome this software. Maybe we can find a solution.
He was apparently an inventor this whole time, and that is plot relevant. Chop Chop Master Onion is now hosting a martial arts love show and is proving that he's still really cool because he denounces homophobia. Lammy is still as adorable as ever, and I need her, and the only returning character who doesn't really have that big of a role is Joe Chin. He's just reduced to cameos, but that's fine because he isn't actually relevant to the story. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Sunny because she feels like an afterthought. Anyway, I hate this boombox guy. He appears in the middle of every cutscene just to try to give you a tutorial even though you already know how to play the game. And if you're just starting out, the first level still teaches you well enough. Actually playing the tutorial is annoyingly long and spoils the lyrics to this song. You can thankfully skip it, but it still takes a couple seconds for him to go away, and you can't even turn him off in the options menu. His entire inclusion in my life has been nothing but annoying, and him kissing the screen makes me feel uncomfortable as if I'm being held hostage by a parasocial fan.
Come on, relax. It's practice time.
He does show up in an optional versus mode that you can play against either a computer or another player, and if you don't have another player, then the second player just doesn't do anything, and that's kind of fun. This isn't really my thing, but I think it's really cool that this is in the game for people who want to play against other people they know. There are multiple rounds, and each round is the same line being played multiple times, with each player trying to play it better than the other one. The UI in this game is needlessly cluttered with these 3 meters at the bottom that the game never explains to you what they mean, and I still have no idea what they're trying to communicate to me. They probably indicate some way of getting close to cool mode, but the way that the previous games handled getting to cool mode was pretty simple and easy to understand. I actually never reached cool mode a single time in this game for that exact reason. I mostly tried to stick to the actual notes because once again my score seemed to go down randomly. This game adds an interesting failsafe that allows you to recover your score each time it goes down. Once you drop into a lower tier, you actually get to repeat the previous 2 lines. Which is nice because you only need 2 lines in order to get your tier up or down. The only thing I don't like about this is that it forces the game to pause momentarily each time it happens, with the instructor telling you that you're getting better or worse, and it just sort of ruins the flow of the music, you know? It's especially egregious in the final level, which gives you tiny lines with no warning that you can't possibly react to, which happens nowhere else in the game and can kill you in seconds, and it happens at the very end of a long level, so if you die, you have to restart. And the guy telling you that you're getting worse just throws you off even more because you don't know when you're suddenly gonna get thrown into another line you can't possibly predict. This final level sucks! The only other song I have a problem with is the remix one, where it pauses between each line, which also just ruins the flow of the music. The actual background music in both songs is good, and so are the performances, as always. So even the levels I don't like have an undeniable quality to them, and with the 8-bit one in particular, you can definitely tell some real work was put in since it looks different for every single tier that you can go to. Huh, I guess I was wrong about the amount of bad things I'd have to say about this game because I'm done with all of those. I only have good things to say from now on. Okay, now I'll explain the plot. PaRappa won a coupon for a year's supply of noodle products and can't stand the sight of noodles anymore, so he goes to a burger shop with PJ, only to find out that all the burgers have been turned into noodles. The recently deceased owner resurrects himself and teaches PaRappa how to make burgers, in the best opening song out of the trilogy. It also stands out because the only opening song cannot be by Master Onion. It has a really stupid but infectious energy, which to be fair is a good way to describe PaRappa as a franchise. You can even hear PaRappa's voice actor trying not to laugh. But now the noodleization is happening all around town, and PaRappa's dad's trying to build a device to stop it, but accidentally ends up shrinking him and Sunny's dad. Wanting to ask him for help, PaRappa and PJ enter, but since they don't see him as they're small, they just decide to watch the exercise show with Master Onion instead. Something this game does really well is branch out into different styles of music. Every song has its own distinct identity in completely different genre than the other ones. Even the remix one is still 8-bit themed, so it doesn't sound like the others. With Master Onion's being completely different than his previous two songs, because this one's a slow-paced love ballad. It's not actually important to the grander story, but once again, who cares? The story's basically just an excuse to have these levels anyway. It's also cool that after this level ends, a bonus game appears that you can do to increase your score. It's skippable in case you don't actually want to do it, but it is cool that it's here. You have to punch in the direction of the boards that Master Onion's other students place down, but only when there are boards there, because if you punch when they don't have one up, you accidentally fling them across the room, which delays them being able to put up another board. It's a fun little inclusion and showcases the heightened production quality of this game. So does the fact that you can see where you press each note, which I forgot to mention until now, but it's such a cool detail and helps you see what you're doing. Plus, I'm sure it makes this footage a lot easier to understand. PaRappa and PJ accidentally shrink themselves too, and then Milk Can comes in and Masan accidentally shrinks the entire town without knowing.
Pizza delivery.
Cleaning service. Visitor from space.
Just walking by.
Hello.
Anybody home?
Maybe son.
Konnichiwa.
What's up?
This game is still really funny. It doesn't need Joe Chin to be a major character to be as funny as the first game. And what helps is that PaRappa gets into infinitely more ridiculous situations here than in the original game, so the writers know that they can derive a lot of the humor from the situation that they're in. And this level isn't even close to the most ridiculous this game gets. A guru ant shows up, calls everybody stupid and tiny, asks them if they want to be big, says that revolutions are meticulous and ridiculous, and then Masan accidentally makes him and PaRappa giant and he starts to panic, which is really funny as a juxtaposition. I really like that there's a song in this series where the instructor is just a dick. It's especially funny because each of the song's lessons flips between you being small or big, and then once you get small again, he actually tries to gaslight everybody into thinking he didn't panic. This is also just one of the best songs in the entire series, helped by the fact that it has one of the best vocal performances in the entire series. This guy is one of the smoothest singing voices I've ever heard. I also like how he says you should make your own groove, which is a nice way to tell new players about the freestyle mechanic. Everybody gets back to normal size, and now a terrorist organization of noodle idealists want to replace all food with noodles and are threatening to invade the town. So PaRappa and PJ get drafted and have to do military training with Mussolini's sister. I don't know why she looks like this. I like the military drill-esque music here, and it's also really cool that this stage has a couple callbacks in it. Joe Chin makes a cameo, and Mussolini's song is even referenced here.
Like my sister said, it's not as easy as you say. Remember that phrase again? When I say boom, 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 you say bam, bam, bam. No pause in between. Come on, let's jam.
PaRappa and PJ's first military assignment is to stop this guy from holding hostages at a hair salon. He's being mind-controlled by a tape deck to give everybody in town afros that grow so big that they end up destroying everything. Also, Milk Can is here.
Hello there.
Hairdresser Octopus says that he'll return everybody's hair to normal if PaRappa can make a better hairstyle than him. And the lyrics in this song are very simple, like Master Onion level simple. But they work because this is essentially a boss fight. And not only is this guy's voice extremely infectious, but he has the best game over screen in the entire series.
Take that stupid hat off. What does it look like in there?
The level also just has some really cool details, like Lammy being strapped to a chair like Frankenstein's monster, and the fact that what you do actually does affect the hair of the people in the salon. The developers didn't need to put that detail in the game, but it's so cool that they did. The tape deck explodes, and PaRappa's dad discovers an old canceled video game in it. It was canceled because if you failed at it, your body wouldn't be able to digest anything but noodles, and its software has to be defeated in order to finish the denoodleizer, so PaRappa goes in. This is the remix level that I already briefly talked about, but I think it's really cool that the game is called Food Court, and then the actual game is a tennis match with food. That's really funny. The noodleizer is completed, and the Noodle Syndicate starts to invade PaRappa Town, turning the entire place into a giant war zone, or a food fight. There's a pretty lengthy battle, and there's absolutely no way that there weren't any casualties. Where's Joe Chin? Is he safe? Is he alright? After discovering that the Noodle Soldiers were actually just dummies, our heroes follow the wires attached to them and discover that the actual mastermind behind the whole thing was the son of that dead burger shop owner. He wants noodles to rule the world because his dad only ever let him eat burgers. He even steals PaRappa's catchphrase.
Oh, I know. I gotta believe.
Truly terrifying. What's really cool about this song is that both characters have their own lyrics since it's a clash of ideology. PaRappa doesn't just repeat what's said to him. Unfortunately, both of them also commit cultural appropriation. Near the end of the song, Colonel Noodles suddenly becomes self-aware and realizes, oh, other food can be good, and being a Nazi is evil. So he thanks PaRappa for helping him understand, stops being evil, and they're all friends now. They even go on a picnic. You should be in prison.
My crimes against humanity have just completely slipped my mind.
They all decide to throw a stage party together, every character shows up, and it's really cool, unless you're actually playing it. It's another finale song that's basically just a victory lap. King Kong Mushi shows up again, so that's pretty cool. He unsurprisingly still sounds really good. And thankfully, you still have more to play afterwards because of what I mentioned with the hats giving you different remixes of each song. After beating every level with the yellow hat, a PaRappa-shaped building appears and you can play records from it. So that's pretty cool, and the camera even floats around the map as if you're going through PaRappa Town.
I felt like I was there.
With the story ending with PaRappa now having an aversion to cheese. And as somebody who has lactose intolerance, I wish I had an aversion to cheese. My stomach hurts. So yeah, you see what I mean when I said this story is so stupid it's great, right? It's really funny. Whoever wrote this is a genius. PaRappa 2 is a genuinely incredible game that blows the original out of the water, and the original was already really good, and I liked it a lot. Unfortunately, the original game was also the only one in the series to do well. Lammy being about a new character makes it pretty much unmarketable since you can't rely on the brand recognition of PaRappa. I wouldn't blame anybody for thinking it's a knockoff at first sight. It was also screwed over by being a PS1 game announced the same day the PS2 was announced. Oops. Both it and PaRappa 2 also took too long to come out to capitalize on the success of PaRappa. Other people had already taken advantage of the type of gameplay PaRappa had by the time they came out. So by the time PaRappa 2 released, the quality of it didn't actually matter. The series just didn't have a place in the market anymore. And while I'm obviously sad PaRappa didn't become as popular as it deserved to and become a big franchise, I'm also kinda glad that it never became tainted. PaRappa 2 ended the series on a high note, and if the series did continue afterwards, it's possible that it would have just declined in quality and gotten worse, and nobody would have liked it over time. Of course, there's no way of knowing what would have happened, but still, it's nice that the quality of the series is intact, even if it's dormant. I'd highly recommend checking it out if you— It's me, Sony! Sony? What are you doing here? I'm here to digitize every video game! You have the last copy of Chibi Robo Zip Blast. Yes, it's a Nintendo game, but the point of the matter is, we're digitizing all games! Everyone! All of them! They're gonna be Sony! They're gonna be digital! We're gonna use our digitizer! It's the perfect plot to destroy the used game market! They're cutting into our profits! Sony, you can't do that! You know people aren't gonna buy your stuff anymore if you do that, right? People are gonna hate you. No, it's profitable! I'm right! I'm right! I know I'm right! I know! I gotta believe! God damn it.